Statement of purpose. Essentially, आज का topic. Lot of confusion on how to write this. Why do we need to write this? Why is it that universities or colleges abroad, in India, wherever, they demand this specific document and we need to write it and we can't because we're not clear about it, and we end up paying a lot of money to people who also perhaps are doing a copy paste job, creating SOPs that are unique to us through, I don't know, copying from some place, adding our details, writing. तो हम इन्हें पैसे दे देते हैं, ये हमारे लिए SOPs बना देते हैं, हम इन्हें यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में भेज देते हैं. हमारा फिर सिलेक्शन होता है नहीं होता है, डजेंट रियली मैटर, बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे the examiner or the committee knows that this SOP and the person sitting right in front of me, they match or not match, they know that. So it's better no कि इतनी छोटी सी चीज़ अगर है which can be simplified to like the ABCDs to of it, why not just do it, why not perfect it, and हुआ वो डर उसे हटा देते हैं. तो which is why I'm here. So, SOPs, first off, what are they? They're a statement of purpose. If I break it down, break everything down in English to the bare minimum possible. So, we won't go to the letters bare minimum, but it's a statement about a purpose. Great. So, it has to tell something, our purpose. Fine. So, it's essentially an essay. We do essay writing. So, this is an essay. Now, it has a purpose, which is of applying to a particular course. So, whether you're applying at, usually it happens after your bachelor's. So, wherever, whichever course you've done your bachelor's in, after that, you need to pursue higher education if you want to. Therein, you need to submit this document. Second area, so one would be higher education. Second area would be any, internship where you want to go. Third could be any even companies at times demand it. So you don't need to see where I'm going. If I'm going there, I must know this. You know this because this is about you. In fact, down there in my notes below, you'll see this is the only document amongst your mark sheets, amongst all those numbers that you share with universities and people, your seniors, companies. This is the only document that is truly yours, which reflects you before they see you. So it's always better to, control this unique thing about yourself and put yourself at your best, because you are best, we're all best. So, first off, it's a purpose. It has a purpose, which is applying to a particular course. Good. In a particular university. Consists of a gist of who you are. Gist is बहुत शॉर्ट में, बहुत ही सर्कुलर यूनिक तरह से, बहुत ही एनकम्पास तरह से who you are. This document has to put that forth. Who you want to become. So it's not just who you are, which is past and the present, but also it's moving, it has a movement towards the future. What do you want to become? Because obviously you must demand, you must have something in mind कि ठीक है मुझे ये कोर्स करना है. So this is because this will help me become this materially, philosophically, अपनी खुशी के लिए, पैसे के लिए, whatever. Purpose is purpose. Everything's justified. So, what do you want to become? Why this course would help you? How ready you are to pursue a certain course in an institution. So, this is what you want. And this last point is to show them whether you're capable, whether you deserve that opportunity. So, essentially, it is this. Another thing, it's usually 1,000-word essay, describes your intent and goals to the university, and I have broken this thing down to the minimum. So wherever you find this online, you will have it in a number of paragraphs and you will read it like an essay, but I've deliberately put it in these bullet points so that I focus your attention on every single thing and how that adds on to its meaning. Because once you understand that, it's nothing, it's just plain simple writing. Even after that, if you don't have very good English and you don't have a lot of time, when I'll show you a list, a checklist later on, if you can just prepare that as well by truly understanding what is required and get someone to just put it in grammatically correct words, job's done. The issue happens when you tell a random stranger, write an SOP for me for this particular course. That's the issue. They don't know you. And moreover, you don't know what this document wants. So once you understand that, which is the only intent, and Whether you write it, you get some loved one or some friend to get write it for you, just for the grammatical correctness sake, it's okay. So it describes your intent and your goals. It illustrates the reasons to apply. Why the course? It lists in detail some specific qualities that make you eligible and a sound candidate for the program that you applied for. Okay? Things will become clear. If you have some doubt here, they will become clear. I'll be explaining a lot. Now, this is from the committee's point of view mostly. So it helps them understand the candidate's life, who this person is, how this person is, how do they deal with one another, first off, how do they deal with themselves? An issue arises, how do they deal? A challenge is there, what do they do? How do they act? Second off, vis-a-vis another person, vis-a-vis a team, vis-a-vis the organization, etc., etc. It's very crucial for them. Second, the motivations for the chosen career path and his and her goals. So, this course is perfect for me because there's a larger path, there's a larger trajectory, there's a larger path that I need to walk, and this is a very crucial milestone for me. So, this is also unique. The course is also unique. Why unique? Why for you? All of these questions, interrelated, make sense when you understand. कि ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि if you want to become a teacher, you will end up pursuing, I don't know, learning carpentry or something when you want to be an English teacher. You won't do that. Different trajectories. So that means there must be some specific course on which this one milestone is very important from this particular university, from this faculty, and we'll get on to the details later on. Thus, you should discuss the past incidents that have influenced your career path in a specific domain wherein you aspire to grow by joining a course or college. Now, very simply, why did I do English? Because I knew from, I don't know, 10th or ninth class that I hate everything else. So I didn't know I loved this. I knew I hated everything else. And then I have minor incidents where my love for English, which I still can't say I love English, but I know I can't do anything else. So might be a definition of love for me. I know till date that certain things I excelled in because of this. So, little incidents that prove this further, and you'll have it in your life. You'll have it. If you love something, you'll have a lot of incidents. Then, it is the only document in your application that gives you the opportunity to prove that you have something unique that makes you stand out from the crowd. Again, you will have a number of mark sheets in front of you. Numbers again, so many first divisioners, second divisioners, so many 90 pluses. So, if I am a committee, how do I know 100 people who to choose? By this, mostly by this. So, SOPs are a game changer. If you ace them, it's done, the deal's done. Now, something that is confusing for a lot of people. There's two things. There's a master's versus an MBA SOP. Now, understand this very broadly. One is master's, meaning anything in higher education that is related to, let's say, research mostly. And then you have your MBA. MBA, experience, job, etc., etc. This is more fixed career related, like you getting into a job. This is long term research, studying, perhaps a job as well in between, but this is mostly proper professional career. So there are huge differences in these, some common, some elements common, but usually in some specific things there are huge differences in how you approach them. So step 1 is common: prepare a list of your achievements. If you're beginning from scratch, how do you do? Prepare a list of your achievements. Write down all your academic achievements plus your core scholastic. We tend to ignore these, and I'll show you later on why these become so important. Write these down from school time. Just write them down. We'll cull them out later on. We'll reduce them later on, but right now, write them. Step 2. While in an MBA, you would want to talk about your professional and personal goals. One thing to keep in mind in detail. An SOP for your masters or any research or study oriented program need not necessarily be driven towards a professional job or employment. Again, a long term commitment, perhaps a PhD. So you're looking at research as your main agenda, perhaps a job in between, that's okay. But here it will be an MNC or some place, a startup, something. It could be a continuous journey. This is the masters. of learning the subject and simply the next step towards your goal of research. So I did my BA, then I did my MA, then the PhD. So these are just steps. I'm still studying. I'll continue to study. So understand it that way. It's not that I did my BBA, then I MBA, and then I'm into the startup system, I'm into the MNC system, and I'm working and I'm shifting jobs. It's not that. It's a long-term research and study commitment. Again, research does not entirely mean this. It could also mean fruitful employment. Okay, fine. If I'm doing my PhD, also the net exam is crucial. Clear it, perhaps teach it at a college, etc. Step 3, explore the faculty and research projects. So after you've done these two, do this, whatever the course, in the university to which you are applying to. Now, you will say, how do we do that? Just needs a little bit of hard work and an eye for detail, let's say. So, how? Usually, universities abroad are working on various research projects. So, for example, let's say there's Bhagavad Gita as a text. So, perhaps the university you're applying to, or a number of universities you're looking at, perhaps some of them have continuous projects or research works just for this. It could be on any angle related to the Gita, but this in itself means a lot, because if this is your subject, you can link it in your SOP that, look, we're related, take me. Okay. It would help to find out if you can relate again to any of the projects. Linking your SOP with the ongoing research would always be a great addition, because it will be clearly out there. They're doing a work, you have the same subject. It will be very clear to them, we need to take this person. They will add on, be an asset to our university, to our college. Now, what happens in the MBA specific thing? So, this is mostly because academic is, well, any program, any educational program would be academic. So, till step 3, these are common mostly. MBA specific would be here. You should create now 2 separate lists if you're writing an MBA SOP. One personal, another professional. Now, what do I mean by this? Look, the thing is, MBA in any university abroad requires a minimum 2 years experience. So they won't even consider you to be eligible if you don't have these 2 years of experience minimum. So if you have this experience, means you have this material already with you, the professional list. So this makes the SOP different, because your experience and your skills come in. 2 years का एक्सपीरियंस चाहिए तो आपके पास होंगी ना वो स्किल्स, आपके पास इंसिडेंट्स होंगे बताने को. सो दैट makes it entirely different. An MBA program seeks leadership potential within you. रट लो इसको. लीडरशिप लीडरशिप लीडरशिप, वो यही देख रहे हैं, उनको लीडर्स ही चाहिए. Your decision making abilities, communication skills set at large. As a manager, because this is what you will become, these are key differentiators important for success. For the master's course, the intent might be commercial, teaching somewhere, gaining that research, gaining that study, or maybe purely academic and research oriented. For example, someone just wants to study MPhil, PhD, then postdoctorate, then going on and on and on and on. So there, the skills are extremely different, and I'll show you how they are. Thus, the experience and skills for MBA versus so for MBA, it is the experience and the skills, the on ground practical experience that you have and what you learned from it, the soft skills that you gained. In the masters, your knowledge of the subject in great depth is what matters, because they're like, if you've studied bachelor's, master's, MPhil, you might have like what, 3 5 6 7 years of in-depth subject communication and interaction with it. So you'll have this specific knowledge, versus here, if you worked, there's no man's an island, so you would have learned so many things, and they need you to pin them down. Now, the type of language that has to be used in MBA, there has to be less of the technical language. So you don't put in jargon, you don't put in theories, and you don't put in what MBA specific authors might have written down, this is this theory and I applied it here when I was in this organization. No, it has to be self-explanatory, very simple. Versus in masters, of course, they're looking for that technical jargon, domain specific. So they want to know, ठीक है, feminism, post-colonialism, decolonization. Please tell us. We want to know. We want to see if you know your terms well or not. So language, Huge difference. Then, clearly define short and long term goals for your MBA thing. Because let's say I want to pursue MBA from X college. ठीक है. After that, short term goals 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, and then 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, even till 15. What do I plan to do? How would this particular course take me 15 years down the line? They want to know that. And you should have it in your mind. So, list of companies and skill enhancement you would wish to do within, let's say, this bracket, then your 10 year, and then your perhaps 15 years as well. Has no harm. Share it. क्या करना है? 15 साल बाद ज़रूरी तो नहीं है ना कि जो लिखा है वही कर रहे हो. 2 साल बाद भी ज़रूरी नहीं है, छोड़ देना नहीं करना है तो. बट द थिंग इज, it shows the skill that you're it shows the skill that you're far sighted. And far sightedness means सब देख के चल रहे हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि अभी ये किया फिर पलट गए फिर कुछ और, या फिर क्लैरिटी नहीं है. इट शोज दैट ओके, दिस पर्सन हैज़ द प्रायोरिटीज राइट. दे नो, they plan in advance, etc., etc. And I can put in 10 skills here. ठीक है? Do not simply mention what all you have achieved. Rather, explain the achievement, the incidents, and how it was a big event in your life. So you were working there. You were, let's say that you were having trouble in a teamwork project, on and on and on and on. You were having trouble. ये नहीं कि ठीक है उसको हमने फिर ऐसे कर लिया अचीव. नहीं. Show that event through the lens of the challenges you faced as a employee there. How did you overcome them? You knew at the end of the day teamwork is what builds an organization. अकेले इंसान कुछ नहीं कर सकता. तो then how did you turn that challenge into a potential? How did you turn it into an opportunity? This is how you need to process it in your mind and then write it down. What this does helps to lay out your personality in front of the admission committee. Plus, narrated incidents help the committee to judge you on your decision making abilities and how you view situations. इसको मैं यहाँ पे CSR वाले इस एग्जाम्पल से अभी बताती हूँ. Then, your ability to work in a team, very very important. You can't be asking to be in an MBA program and saying teamwork वगैरह कुछ नहीं होता है, हम अपने आप ही करते हैं. करते भी हो गया. At the end of the day, if that is what you have to do, you can't say that. Organization by the people, for the people, of the people. Democratic concept used there. You can't say it. So it's better if you cultivate this. Or just the specific example of actually working in a team is an important element that reflects in your personality. कैसे? मान लीजिए कि आपके पास एक डेडलाइन है. ठीक है? टीम में 5 लोग हैं. 4 जो हैं काम ही नहीं कर रहे हैं. एक डेडलाइन अगर कल है, लेट्स से इट्स टुमारो, दे नॉट वर्किंग ड्यू टू सम रीजन, दे जस्ट नॉट, एंड यू नीड टू फिल दैट प्रोजेक्ट, यू नीड टू कंप्लीट इट एंड यू नीड टू शेयर इट. हाउ डू यू प्रेजेंट इट? 2 तरह से समझाऊंगी. दोनों बहुत डिफरेंट तरीके हैं एंड दोनों से 2 बहुत अलग पर्सनैलिटीज़ निकल के आती हैं. सो वन वे वुड बी दिस. 4 लोग काम नहीं कर रहे थे. I know people, this is how they behave once they get into the organization. I don't rely on them. I did the job. I finished it before the deadline. I submitted it. And I don't care what these people do. They don't do. I went and reported to my top management. I don't want to work with them. I'm better off. See, I did this deadline all by my own. Give me work. I'll do it on my own. 1. Second, how you can repackage that same incident. ऐसे ही हुआ हो. क्या पता ऐसे ही हुआ. How can you repackage it? You can write, and it's all about packaging. How I package this depends on whether I buy it or not. Whether what's inside is shit or not doesn't matter. If the packaging is good, sold. गलत चीज़ें नहीं सिखा रही हूँ मैं. Just you need to be very street smart. जब आप सही भी करते हो और आप उसे गलत तरह से बेचने की कोशिश करते हैं कि देखो देखो हम तो ऐसे हैं, वो काम नहीं करता है. सो स्ट्रीट स्मार्टनेस इज रिक्वायर्ड. सेम सिचुएशन में मान लीजिए डेडलाइन के 1 दिन पहले आप ही को सारा काम करना पड़ा. उसको आप बोलेंगे कैसे? अगर आप उसे ऐसे बोलते हैं कि सम इशू वाज देयर बट आई न्यू आई डोंट हैव द नेसेसरी टाइम टू इन्वेस्टिगेट दैट. आई लेट दोज 4 पीपल बी. आई let them be for the time being, completed the job, did the deadline. Then after the deadline, I asked the top management to arrange a meeting, because let's say we're all equals in this 5 की team. ठीक है? I'm no leader here specifically sitting on top of them, वरना तो वो काम कर ही देते. So I ask the top management, arrange a meeting. Then in that meeting, I discuss very politely and very, in an open environment, open communication, XYZ. Okay, why? Why? What's the issue? Is there some communication blockage? Is there some misunderstanding? We as a team and organization are suffering. I know I did this on my own because the company stood on top priority, but this is not the way to go about it. We are a team. We need to work together. So, what is the issue? Let's resolve it. And let's say you just at the end of the day say there were some issues, they were resolved, and then we became a team again, happy family, etc., etc. Now imagine same incident. How, which, who would the admission committee be more inclined to take? Let's say I would say the second person. Understood? Same thing. And how it reflects on your personality just on the basis of how you explained it, and actually in real life as well how you dealt with it. So lot of has a lot of impact. Now this is very very important. Time to change the ink. They're also looking for socially responsible incidents. So what do I mean by this? CSR is a crucial thing for corporates. So for example, I came across this case study in some other context. So what happened here was, I have a I'm working at a shoe company, and I'm there for quality management and checks. I'm the QC, head of QC department, quality checks. And there's an entire consignment that is not up to mark. So let's say if up to mark is like 100%, it stands at 60%. And I'm a big shot company. I'm like Nike, Adidas, that big shot. Now, I report, because I'm a QC, I report to top management that listen, customer is king and all of that. So this is the case, and we can't let this consignment enter the market. It will be ethically wrong, CSR, what all is happening, we can't fool the customers, etc. etc. Top management says, sorry, no, can't do that. Profits can't cancel an entire consignment. You need to pass it. What do? Dilemma. Oh my god, what? Now look, think very practically. This is like very practical. Perhaps might be happening somewhere. Perhaps we bought that consignment because it was in the market, because some QC decided what CSR, chuck it. Okay, so what do? How do you develop that street smartness? This came into my mind as an answer. If you want to pursue CSR, and if also customer is king plus your CSR, you could easily say this: let's donate this consignment not free of cost, but at some reduced price to an orphanage or an NGO where they require these, so that we do not miss out entirely and we do not face any loss. Plus we end up doing CSR, plus we end up respecting customer is king. And well, there's no loss, but you need to keep your company image, because if this gets out, you are done and dusted for. And then see what the top management would say. Of course, you are just a QC, but at least at your own level, and in your SOP, if even remotely something similar might have happened, or you can package it that way, the top management and the admission committee would be like, what? Itne morals kahan se? So understand, even in situations where you could simply say, मैं क्या करूँ? It's not in my hands, I can't do anything, bye, it's not my responsibility. No, you can at least from your own end offer something. And end of the day, then whoever has to take the decision would, but at least you would be in the clear that, look, this is what I did from my end, I had to take a decision, and this is my decision. Where did I write NGO? So NGO is my decision. Now you do whatever you want to, but I was ethically correct. And the company would mostly go with this. They would. Okay? Whew. So this is, which is why anything that you did in your past 2 years experience or whatever, anything related to CSR and your efforts and how that linked to that, put it, get those brownie damn points. Co-curricular activities. पीपल थिंक नहीं डालना चाहिए, क्यों डाले भाई, अरे 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 क्या फ़ायदा है, हमने बास्केटबॉल खेला, हमने क्या खेला, नहीं खेला. गलत फहमी. Because what you fail to understand is that you fail to link it to this very crucial thing here: work life balance. Why is it important? Because let's say I'm working, plus I'm in the gym, plus I cycle, which means I'll go crazy. But plus, I, let's say, volunteer. People do though. People do. It's all about time management. So let's say I do this and I teach somewhere, and then I study too. All of this is co-curricular. It shows that this is not my only thing. I'm not going crazy gaga over just this and ruining everything else. I have the ability to balance my life and my work, which is like, I think, the most important skill right now that people lack heavily at all levels of management, and they're looking for that passionate energy and zeal in people to have this balance. Okay, so do put them. I'll tell you how to put them. End by why all the above will be achieved via this course and this university only. You need to sell it to them. So do it. Now, how do we write it? The format for the MBA one: the introduction, the hook through an anecdote. So, as I told you, it's simply an essay. In essay, I've always taught you need to have a hook. Hook is मछली कैसे पकड़ी जाती है, उसको फांस के. So, how do you hook your reader? Through something interesting. So, an anecdote. Anecdote is nothing but a short story from your life, perhaps. So, what inspired you to opt for an MBA? Provide your source of motivation, whether there is a story or incident related to it. Very, very important, and there's always a story. My story was hated everything else, didn't know what to love, but ended up having only one thing on my list, which was English. Living my best life with the subject, by the way, because I just love it. Realized it really later on that this is love. But turns out this is how I know I love people, when I hate everyone else. So whoever's left, I love them. For this purpose, you have to think back to an important event in your life or other personal experiences that affected your academic or professional choices. Sit and think. सबकी लाइफ में होता है, हवा में कोई नहीं जीता, सबकी लाइफ में होता है those decision making points and events. Select an appropriate. मम्मी ने बोला था मार पड़ेगी या वॉट एवर काइंड ऑफ थिंग, नहीं कि फोर्स किया था, कुछ नहीं करने को था मैम, घर पे बहुत पैसा था तो कर लिया था ये कोर्स, नहीं. Something which is appropriate enough to put in an SOP. Appropriate story which is relevant to the theme of your program. Background then. Give a background of what all you have learned at college through projects that show your proficiency in the subjects. MBA also has subjects, and how it has motivated you to pursue advanced studies. For example, if I learned two courses in college, for example, I hated one, I loved the other. Let's say this is star, I loved the other. I would not say na कि I would want to pursue my higher education in this wala course, because I hated it. So why would I do that? The only thing that I loved, I would want to pursue my higher education in. So again, the proficiency or how well you are in it would lead you on to pursue it further because you like it. Practical experiences. MBA. Discuss your practical experiences. For example, any projects, research, seminars, conferences, publications. This is all with slash, okay? We're not superhumans. Some are, might have done everything, but these are with slashes. Additional courses, workshops, industrial trainings, internships. I've given you all the words that you might need to think, because you might have done, even if you've done one, which you should have. You'll get it. Give the details of all your work experiences, internships. Again, next, the most crucial point has been reached. Why the MBA now? So first, why the MBA? Why not any other course? And why now? Why is this timing? Why is it important? So this is like your what? The solid point of your SOP, because you've driven through the hook the reader into here, and then you're like, I'm gonna sell it to you. This is why. Take me now. The SOP should have details on why you want to pursue MBA, and also why at this point. Write the names of any specialization of your interest. What skills do you want to enhance through this program? What skills do you need? So all of your needs. Nobody wants to hear your needs in real life. SOP does. It's like, tell me what you need, I'll give it to you. So tell the SOP your needs. I want to improve this. I want to learn this. I want to reach here. I want to earn this much money. Don't write money. Say I want to learn. money will come. And write it down in the SOP. It'll add weight and add credibility, genuineness, etc. to your SOP. Now, link it to your goals. ठीक है, करना है, यहीं से करना है, अभी करना है, but link it. Again, the short, long term goal. How will this course help you to achieve your goals? Both the short and the long. So, means what you want to do just after completing MBA. So, this is like your short term goal. What kind of a work profile would you want? Would you want to work as a manager? Would you want to start up something? I don't know. I'm not from an MBA background, so I can't give you exact like terminologies and all of your different forays that you can enter. What kind of a company would you want to work for? Tech company, finance company? I don't know again. What kind of work do you want to do? This can be industry job, research job, combination. Choose. MBA people choose. Also discuss what exactly you want to do in that job, and you'll know. You'll know. For example, I want to teach. So what? Teach which standard, which college, teach what, which research areas would be my focus. What are my favorite papers to teach? Would I focus more on classical Indian English? How would I go on about it? How would I add on to the existing knowledge and course and curriculum? See, I know about English because I love it. It comes naturally. It will if you pursue what you love and you make it remunerative enough to give you money. You will know. You will be like the king or queen of that thing. Whew. Next, leading from your short term goals, what do you want to do in the long term, 10 to 15 years, would flow in. Where do you see yourself? So, for example, if I enter a college right now, 10 to 15 years down the line, I want to be a solid professor. I, perhaps an HOD, having published 10 to 20 papers, perhaps gone on international research tours, conferences, whatnot. How do you see yourself contributing to the industry and the world at large? So, perhaps if I'm working on the Bhagavad Gita, spread awareness. Uh, See how it has added on to, let's say, whatever my topic is, and how it's being perceived right now. How do we know more about it, etc. You have to be very specific. Don't, because remember, 1,000 words and all of this has to come in, so be very point to point, cut to cut. Oh, why this university? So once you've told them why an MBA and why right now, you'll move on to why the university. Because again, if you go on and say the university, this is what people do when they enter DU as well. So whether we choose the university or whether we choose the course. In DU, people say whether we choose the college or whether we choose the course. Which one? ठीक है. So what I've seen first hand कि हमको करना तो हिस्ट्री ऑनर्स है, लेकिन हमको किरोड़ी मल मिल रहा है और हमको हिंदू मिल रहा है, तो मतलब हम कॉलेज चूज़ करें नहीं, लेकिन हमको हिंदू में ना सोशियोलॉजी ऑनर्स मिल रहा है, लेकिन हमारा दिल करता है कि हम हिस्ट्री ऑनर्स करें, लेकिन हमारा दिल ये भी करता है कि हम हिंदू में जाएं क्योंकि हिंदू हिंदू. हमको LSR मिल रहा है, लेकिन हमको LSR में BA प्रोग्राम मिल रहा है, लेकिन हमको BA प्रोग्राम करना नहीं है क्योंकि हमारा प्यार तो साइकोलॉजी ऑनर्स है, लेकिन हमें LSR. तो ये चीज़ ठीक है, मन के अंदर है, मन के अंदर रखो. वहाँ पे नेवर से यूनिवर्सिटी इज़ अपॉन द कोर्स. देर से ब्रांड के पीछे भाग रहे हैं भाई, ये तो कल को कंपनी भी ऐसे ही छोड़ेंगे कि नहीं भाई KPMG से हमको अब उससे बड़ी कंपनी में जाना है. ऑलवेज फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी लर्निंग, then second priority course. Remember this, please. So which is why this is later. Some specific features of the university that suit your requirement. Add the names of any faculty, clubs, activities, subjects in the curriculums or electives. So whatever courses they offer that you wish to pursue, the scope of these in enhancing your profile. For giving these details, you need to visit the university and program website, very easily available. So what are they saying? हिंदी में अब ट्रांसलेशन किया जाएगा. एक सेकेंड हम ये मिटा दें. वो कह रहे हैं कि मान लो ये यूनिवर्सिटी है, तो ये कुछ कोर्स ऑफर करती होगी. ये शायद हो सकता है बास्केटबॉल की टीम इसकी बहुत बढ़िया हो साथ में, प्लस हो सकता है कि ये कोई स्किल एनहांसमेंट कोर्स भी प्रोवाइड करती हो. तो आप कृपया करके इनकी वेबसाइट पे जाएं. ये सी है कृपया करके इनकी वेबसाइट पे जाएं और देखें कि ये क्या डिटेल्स हैं, ये क्या ऑफ़र करती हैं। फिर आप अपनी एसओपी में लिखिए कि ठीक है, इस यूनिवर्सिटी से एमबीए या एमए या जो भी तो ठीक है, लेकिन उसके अलावा भी, बिकॉज आई वांट टू बिल्ड माई सेल्फ, आई एम द परफेक्ट ह्यूमन, तो मैं और भी अपने आप को एकदम जैसे पीक पे ले जाना चाहता हूँ। तो इसमें हमें एक्स्ट्रा कोर्स जो आप ये ऑफर करते हैं ना, हम ये भी लेना चाहेंगे। साथ में हम को करिकुलर्स, क्योंकि वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस, तो हमको बास्केटबॉल भी सीखनी है और हमने सुना है कि आपकी टीम बहुत ही बढ़िया है, तो हमें काफ़ी ऊंचाइयों तक ये ले जा सकती है, एंड हम बहुत ही ज़्यादा शौकीन है बास्केटबॉल के। उसके ऊपर से हम चाहते हैं कि हम थोड़ी अपनी सॉफ्ट स्किल्स भी ठीक कर लें, तो इसके लिए स्किल एनहांसमेंट बहुत ज़रूरी है पर्सनैलिटी के लिए। आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी ये कोर्सेज ऑफर करती है, इसीलिए आप ही हैं भाई, आप ही हैं और हम ही हैं, और बस हम ही दो हैं, आप हमें ले लीजिए, ठीक है। यही करना है एसेंशियली, बट इंग्लिश में। लिंक दिस आर्ग्यूमेंट विद द पॉइंट्स अबव। Oh, I forgot to write an A here. So now you move on here to how you will be an asset to the university. Serious, serious. Control, Uday. Write a paragraph about your extracurricular activities and volunteer work. This is optional. ठीक है, यू वॉन्ट शो कि ये सारी चीज़ें तो आप एज अ यूनिवर्सिटी हमको प्रोवाइड करेंगे, बट हम भी खाली हाथ नहीं आ रहे हैं भाई। हमारे पास कुछ स्पेसिफिक स्किल्स हैं, क्योंकि जब हम आपके पास आएंगे तो हम आपको भी उनके साथ शेयर करेंगे, उनको भी आपके साथ शेयर करेंगे। सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ़ यू सेइंग बास्केटबॉल, से कि आई हैव played at the national level for my college in my bachelor's and I'll be an asset for you. Say कि अगर आपको कोई translation course जो है आपको join करना है, या फिर you want to learn a new language there, for example you want to learn Korean, से कि अपने बैचलर्स में मैंने ऑलरेडी AB लेवल जो भी जितने होते हैं उन तक किया हुआ है, सो आई बी एन एसेट टू यू। आई ऑलरेडी हैव दीज रिक्वायर्ड प्री स्किल्स टू देन एड ऑन टू you. Okay, how have they helped you to evolve, and whether you feel that based on your background you can contribute to any student organization or program to the in the university. Exactly जो ये चीज़ मैंने बहुत ही अच्छे से समझाई थी, exactly यही है। In the conclusion, end with 3-4 lines of conclusion to show your preparedness for the task at hand. Ready हैं, packed बैठे हैं, बुला लो, बस बस बुला लो। Just infuse that confidence in that committee. When they read it, they're like, अरे इससे ऊपर तो बंदा ही नहीं है, इससे ऊपर हम ले ही नहीं सकते किसी को। एंड इंग्लिश प्लस राइटिंग, यू कैन मैनिपुलेट एनीवन, ट्रस्ट मी, यू कैन। आप कुछ भी ना हो और आप अगर लिख लेना, आप लिख लें किसी को पैसे देके नहीं, you can make them, you can feed that inside their brains कि this is it. I don't know if I'll be taking any other candidate, but this person is in the program, and perhaps they might even offer you some scholarship, who knows. Now try to make a draft. This is just the format and what all you need to prepare and how you need to think. Prepare a draft because we'll be reviewing it later on, but this is what needs to be done first off. Now if I come to the general SOP, because that was MBA specific, general SOP अगर आपने MBA समझ लिया तो general तो ठीक है, हो जाता है। Introduction. This is not a self introduction. Introduce the academic field of interest. आप वहाँ पे अपना I don't know बायो लिखने नहीं जा रहे हैं, हैशटैग जोडियाक ये है मेरा, born on this और इसके फ़ैन है उसके फ़ैन है, that's not what's happening even remotely. Not even कि this is me, this is what I like. No, come to the topic straight off, because 800 से 1000 words ही हैं. Okay, academic field of interest, because of course you're applying for a study program. Right, how and why it interests you, what do you aspire to do in this domain. Introduction, very brief. The background, academic information of either school or college, what you've already done, industrial exposure and training experience if any. For example, while doing my PhD I've also taught this people, students. Professional experience if you have any, not necessarily. Must include extracurricular in UG and MBA SOP. ठीक है, extracurricular is required, is एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर इज़ ऑप्शनल फॉर मास्टर्स, कि अगर आप रिसर्च में ही जा रहे हैं तो आपको ज़रूरी नहीं उनको बताना कि हम बॉलर भी हैं, कोई बात नहीं। लेकिन कोई और रेलिवेंट मास्टर्स रिलेटेड है कि भाई हम volunteer usually at a library, or have joined a book reading club or whatever, you can put that in. Has to be relevant to the course, please. Why this course? Specify why you want to pursue Peruse. What's peruse? I think it's pursue. This particular course. Discuss the course curriculum. For example, if let's say this is the entire course, it will have these many papers. So थोड़ा सा basic इनके बारे में कि ये papers जो हैं मेरे domain से ऐसे related हैं, and this is how it will add on to my skill set or my research area further, and I can use it if I, whenever I pursue higher education. इसके बारे में भी थोड़ा सा. Explain the skills you would enhance during the course. Just what I said. Just what I said. God. Deja vu. No, it's not deja vu. This is just smartness. Career goals. Narcissistic. Clearly specify a goal immediately after this course. ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं है. Portray your long-term plans, 10 to 15 down the line. Never talk about staying in foreign country for long. अच्छा अगर बाहर जा रहे हैं और बोल रहे हैं कि हमको भैया यहीं पे रख लो, no. फटाफट हम यहाँ से पढ़ेंगे and then we'll see where life takes us. Be very detached. कि उनको लगे कि ना तुम आओ यहीं रहो प्लीज़, और तुम कहोगे ना हम जा रहे हैं, और वो फिर तुम्हें रोके कि फिर से ना कि नहीं रुको. So because if you say I'm gonna stay here and want to stay here, just want to stay here, उन्हें लगेगा कि यार क्या मंगता इंसान है, अभी आया भी नहीं है और जाने की बात नहीं करना चाहता है. ठीक है. Street smartness. Why this university again? After the course only you will talk about the university. If you do it before, I'm telling you. Specific features of university that attract you. I've already explained. वो baller वाला पूरा section. How its exposure would help you realize your goals. Again, skill set, blah blah blah. Conclusion, sum up what you've written. Do not write anything about your financial assistance. So if you're looking for a scholarship, let's say, don't say give me money. Give me money, please. I don't have no money. Don't say that. Might be other ways to do it. Don't write it here. Now, this was a checklist that I was talking to you about, the thinking points that you need. How would you think or begin thinking about an SOP? इंट्रोडक्शन. कुछ आप सोचेंगे कैसे भाई इंट्रोड्यूस किया जाए हमारा प्यार उस विषय के लिए. व्हाट डू यू वांट टू स्टडी? पढ़ना क्या चाहते हो? व्हाई दिस प्रोग्राम? व्हाई दिस यूनिवर्सिटी? व्हाई डिड यू चूज टू स्टडी इन दिस पर्टिकुलर कंट्री? लेट्स से स्पेशल क्लासेस, courses or projects you've taken as per your interest, any leadership experience or community service. Works for both. For example, even if, let's say, in your bachelor's, and I'm giving you a really true example, this was me in your bachelor's. Let's say you helped some not even weak, but some students who needed help. ठीक है. If you helped them with their studies after classes and this helped hone your concepts, and you realized over a period of time that this helped you in your communication skills, in your comms, in your soft skills, and then you ended up realizing that, oh my god, I became better in presentations and whatnot, add it briefly, but add it. It shows you are that leader who once has learned something, is very open to sharing it with others, and not is very के मुझे आ गया निकलो यहाँ से मैं नहीं शेयर करूँगा. It shows that openness and that confidence. Why should you get admitted in this course? What do you understand about the college culture and student community? A little bit research about the website and on perhaps Instagram and you might get it. Why do you think you are a great fit? So example, in some university there's racism and you're saying I want to be here because the atmosphere is so, oh my god, full of love. Not working. Either you didn't do your research right or you're just lying to yourself. What are your career goals? How is this course going to help in achieving your career goals? Extracurricular, interest, hobbies. I've been speaking for almost 44 minutes. One unique characteristic of yours that admission officers should know. How does this matter to the admission officers and students? So for example, this. I help. Once I learn the subject, I like teaching others who might need my help or might want to learn. This is very good. It's very good. And then the conclusion. Now, some must-haves. For example, your personal and financial background. If you must put it, how would you? So this paragraph is confused with self-introduction. In short, it should actually introduce your chosen academic field. I've already told you, come straight to the point. Not a lot of words you have with you because no one wants a 5,000 page SOP to read, even not a 1,500. Just keep it to 1,000. You can explain your background in 2 to 3 lines. Connect it with your future goal. Very important. For example, they need to understand what universities are screening your application. They're looking for areas that highlight you. They want to know you. If you are a story of beating all the odds, कि भाई अब सब कुछ against था हमने फिर भी कर दिखाया, include it. Again, do not go on and on about how humble your background was. State it as a matter of fact कि जैसे था वैसे state करो. Focus on how you overcame it. For instance, if you're from a rural area, mention it. Highlight that despite poor facilities, you managed. And look, here I am. Now, come on, take me. Understood? Your extracurricular activities, very very important, they're a must have. Doesn't matter, oh sorry, people don't understand how crucial these are. So it doesn't matter if you're not a national level, this is, you need to read this section at least 50 times to actually internalize it. This is how crucial this is. I'll read it slowly for you. It does not matter that you're not a national level hero. Understand it. Not even a state level champion. Doesn't matter. Rather, what is important is to mention the activities you've participated in. Sports are ideal to highlight leadership. So are debates, clubs, other activities. Working individually or more importantly in a team are important aspects of your personality, and I've showed you through that example of 5 people in a team, 4 not working. Okay, the universities wish to understand how much of an individual you are, what kind of a leader. So when do you choose to act individually and when you again decide to be a team? That balance is crucial. That's a make or break situation. Then whether or not you're a leader shows that. Apart from that, your participation also highlights your ambitious personality. Work life balance, I can do it. I'm not going to be stuck in just one thing. I want to hustle. I want to have 10 things going on and be able to balance them out and perhaps go a little crack here, but that's all right because I have that ambition in me. Plus I have that street smartness in me to know when to stop where and balance the other things out. Not let the beaker overflow, balti ko behne na dena pagal. Okay, but to know when to sort of open the tap, close it. Wow, nice. It is also an interesting way to lay focus on things you are passionate about. This is how you can mention extracurricular activities in SOP. Your failures. That's right, it's a must. It's a must. You can't be, you can't. Even sorry, even, who was he? Icarus, even Icarus fell. No one's perfect. Get it? That's right, it's a must. Many students wish to hide behind the trophies they have won and never talk about the failures that you have made them. Failures that have made them what they are. Failures make us. If you flunked a paper or lost a tournament, flunked this paper mein fail ho gaye, or any personal accidents, don't be ashamed to talk about them. Again, it's all about packaging, how you package them. ये नहीं कि हम फेल हो गए क्योंकि हम तो मैम हम तो सर खेल रहे थे, मूवी गए थे, टाइम नहीं है, पढ़ने से क्या होता है, सब हो जाता है. ऐसे नहीं पैकेज करना है. You had your basics weak. You did not get enough, you had a, you did not have a background in that subject. You tried a lot, you worked hard, but due to concept loss of concept clarity, lack of concept clarity, you could not. But then you realize that I need to work on my basics, I need to get them right, because when the foundation is strong, you can build higher on it, and the foundation will ensure that you will always have a very strong structure built on it. See, magic. And thus, from that flunked paper, I understood that next time this is not going to happen, and at least I learned the lesson that the basics, or to get a background or a sense of things, is very important before you just jump into them. Deal done. होने लगे बस आ जाओ बेटा, जल्दी आ जाओ, जल्दी आ जाओ, वीज़ा वीज़ा जो भी करना है जल्दी आ जाओ. The idea is to lay stress on your ability to rebound from situations and personal and professional failures. बैठ के रो रहे हैं, रोते ही जा रहे हैं, रोना ख़त्म ही नहीं हो रहा है, 2 साल हो गए ख़त्म ही नहीं हो रहा है. वर्सेस 2 दिन रो यार, आगे बढ़ो. They are interested in knowing how confident you are about winning, and more importantly, how positive you are to failures and criticisms. जीतते हो तो कैसे रिएक्ट करते हो, हारते हो तो कैसे रिएक्ट करते हो, दोनों ज़रूरी हैं. वर्क एक्सपीरियंस, इसको भी ध्यान से सुने. पार्ट टाइम, फुल टाइम, वॉलंटरी, डजंट रियली मैटर. MBA में are required to provide mandatory work experience that I told you 2 years. The same might not be the case in bachelor's or master's. But if you have any work experience, even voluntary, please include it. Do not think it was only a 2 month summer job. क्या करना है करो, because when 2 month summer job में, when 2 month holiday में बाकी लोग एकदम लफंग गए हो, पता नहीं क्या क्या कर रहे थे, you decided कि no, let's make some money, let's be productive. So says a lot again about your personality. The point is that you must have learned something during that experience. Okay, universities would be interested. Any published papers, works submitted. अब यहाँ पे लोग बैठ जाते हैं कि जर्नल में सब पब्लिश नहीं हुआ, कहाँ जाए, कहाँ मुँह दिखाएं ना. This is an extremely important aspect for students applying for masters and doctorate, but before that, but before the undergraduate students pass this point, wait and think. Have you never submitted a story for a magazine? Have you worked on a research project during 11th and 12th? CBSE सब करवाते ही हैं. Did you submit a research report for that? Yes, you did. So, if it was an important aspect and you managed to get some appreciation, even if it was from your teachers, include that. Talks about your ability to think scientifically and work towards a goal. So do that. Research papers written in your, let's say during your bachelor's, projects that you undertook, the topics that you chose, why you chose them during your 11th, 12th, matter a lot. Again, short term and long term goals. This is a total game changer. Shows how focused you are regarding your career. कैसे? अगर बंदे ने सोचा होगा ये तो मतलब फोकस्ड है ना. किसी ने सोचा ही नहीं है सब हो जाएगा कल पे छोड़ दिया तो फिर दैट मीन्स दे नॉट. What steps you have planned to achieve them? So if you have this plan, it already means you are focused. The short term goals should aim at the plans that you've decided on just after completing your course. You can describe job profile that you would want, names of companies perhaps. For long term goals, you can tell your plans for 10 to 15. Again, I've repeated this. For the masters or the doctorates, you could say I would want to be, professor or whatever. For other things, even if it's in history and whatnot, you can put in museums, archaeology, anything. Just think what you want to do in life. Now, for the question of why this particular university or college, specify a good reason that will justify your aim of pursuing this course. You can mention some specific features of the university, which is very important. Just go to the website of the university that you're applying to. It has to be very specific. The moment your SOP is generic, there's absolutely no point of sending it. They are experts. And whether these specific things meet your requirements for your career. So remember that skill enhancement thing that I told you, and the basketball and everything. Also, you can give the names of the teachers that you think will be good mentors for your life. So for example, what people do specifically for JNU, let's say DU, they do a little bit research कि ठीक है अगर इस डिपार्टमेंट में जाना है तो इसमें ये प्रोफेसर्स हैं and इनके ये डोमेन्स हैं, and it is all published, it is all written on the website. And then you think कि अगर एक्स प्रोफेसर का लेट्स से डोमेन ये है एंड मेरा भी डोमेन मैच कर रहा है तो राइट दैट इन योर SOP. तो द पीपल रीडिंग वुड रियलाइज कि ठीक है, ए they are very clear about what they want, B they're going to be an asset. Additionally, you can include subjects in the curriculum electives. I've repeated this, done it. So essentially 1,000 words, prepare a draft based on these points and then review it and read or see this video again and see whether you have all of this or not. You will have the PDF. I will share the link. So with the video, you'll have the link, you'll have the PDF. Access it, write it, see if you have this necessary detail, and if you want to share it with me, do that. Mail me. You have the email ID as well. This is for you. You write them, you prepare them, you better them over time, even if you're in your second, first year, whatever. If you're planning ahead, keep working on your SOP. The better it is, the more chances, the smoother chances you have of not just getting accepted, but getting a scholarship as well. So it makes a lot of difference. Okay, if you have any doubts, let me know. हो गया almost 1 घंटा. So bye. Bye.